Hey, so I mentioned a while ago I wanted to do a Q&A for my channel, and all the feedback on the 8 Animatic I think is a good opportunity to do that. And so I posted something on the community tab that had a few questions below. Let's get right into it. The first question that I'm seeing is from my friend Far, who's one of the Kingbase SMP members. He's the dude with the purple eyes, who says, would you rather have legs as long as your fingers or fingers as long as your legs? I would definitely say fingers as long as your legs, just because I like reaching things. Wouldn't ever need chopsticks. Next is, how did you come up with the idea of Wilbur watching his life from Limbo in 8? It's a really cool idea, and I've never seen anybody use it before. Honestly, most of the stuff that was in the animatic is personal headcanons that I have about the SMP. I think Wilbur's character is one of the most introspective characters that has been in the plot, and the idea of his character kind of reflecting on his role in the plot I think was an interesting thing that I wanted to draw. Besides that, I honestly don't have any other reasoning. Oh wait, yeah, I do. So the streamer Wilbur has also talked a ton about how he's written his character, what he's inspired his character off of, and a series of things like that. And so I think that's just another perspective that gives us more information on Wilbur's character that I thought was cool to draw. The next question is about how long did it take to finish 8? 4 months. I kind of lost motivation for finishing this actually halfway through, mainly just because I had a lot of stuff going on IRL and everything. But, you know, art takes as long as it takes, and a lot of the time that's longer than expected, but I'm really happy with the finished product, and I'm glad I took my time on that. Also, the landscape frames are cool. Do you have any specific process when doing those kinds of frames? I don't really. All I could tell you is that go background to foreground, I think, helps a lot, and I used a lot of comic book frames for kind of how to frame the characters, but throughout the animatic, I kind of default to putting the subject in the center, and landscape frames that just try and keep the center of light on the subject. Yeah. Next question is, how long have you been animating or making things like animations? Not long. I actually started doing videos at all, including animations and animatics and whatnot, for the Dream SMP, I would say probably about 6 months ago with the Broken Crown animatic. A lot of artists in the fandom back in January and December, which was kind of the golden age for artists here, kind of inspired me to start working on this stuff. I've been drawing for about a decade now, but I was like, oh, I could probably do something like that. I want to see if I can, and then I did, and I've gotten some really great feedback on that, so not very long, but I hope to get better at it, and I want to start doing legitimate animations more. Next is, how do you choose the songs? Does the song inspire the animation, or do you get an idea for an animatic and look for a fitting song after? The song definitely inspires the animation. For 8, that was kind of easy. Wilbur had talked about in his stream that his character was really heavily based on the song 8 by Sleeping at Last, which interestingly enough actually comes from an album where each of the songs illustrates a different Enneagram type, which means that Canon Wilbur is type 8. And I was like, oh, this is a kind of an easier thing to go off of. The only issue is that the song is really long, and that kind of took a while. I'd like to do more where I kind of have an idea for a video and then I do a song with it, because I feel like that would give me a little bit more freedom in how to draw things. But the lyrics of the song and the rhythm of the song really, really help guide storyboarding and whatnot. Far has posted a series of riddles here that I'll put up on the side of the screen. I'm only going to answer the first two because they seem to be separated from the rest. If you enjoy wasting time, is time really being wasted? No, not in my opinion. And then, what can you never have for breakfast? Lunch or dinner. Yeah. And then there's the other 4 riddles, all of which I think I at some point knew the answer to, but I can't remember, so I'm going to put these on the side here. Answer them in the comments if you want. Next one is, which app or program are you using for your animations and speed paints? And would you recommend one to me? I drew on paper till now and it's not bad, but I like to draw on my phone or iPad. So for me, I use the program Medibang Paint Pro for the actual art, because I draw on a Windows computer, and that's one of the only free programs that works on there. And then for editing, I use DaVinci Pro Studio, or just DaVinci Resolve Pro Studio, which is also free. I am on a pretty tight budget here. And would you recommend one to me? So if you've been doing traditional art for a while and are just transitioning into digital art, some simpler programs like Fire Alpaca might be a little bit better. but it uses the same programming as Medibang, so Medibang's also pretty good. But I see you've said that also you have a phone or an iPad. I would absolutely recommend Procreate if you're using iOS stuff. I've seen a lot of really great reviews on it, and it has a built-in animation feature if you ever wanted to do something like that. It's just overall a really intuitive program from what I've seen. I would definitely recommend that. Or if you're on your phone and would rather not use Procreate, then Ibis Paint, I've heard, is pretty good. I've seen a lot of amazing artists from this fandom do really cool things on there. Another Kingbase SMP person, Drive515 here, has put another question. What is your favorite color? My favorite color is red, very closely followed by purple and orange. But I think all colors can be used properly in the right settings. But red is kind of an all-time favorite of mine. The next question is, what does the ender text say on this frame? This specific frame I drew a long time ago, and I kind of just put English text into a translator, so I don't really remember. But I'm pretty sure it says something along the lines of, like, book has or contains something something. There are some other design questions about the characters that I have in the comments of the 8 Animatic. This person asks, what's the story behind Tommy, Ranboo, and Tubbo having white hair streaks? Is a cool detail. So this was actually kind of something I came up with when I was drawing the frames originally. Like, while I was drawing it, not really it's kind of on a whim. I was thinking that, so Revivebur has white hair, right? And I've seen a lot of designs with Schlatt having it as well, and Tommy having it after he was resurrected. So Tommy's white hair definitely comes from the revival thing. But in terms of Ranboo and Tubbo, I would definitely connect that to, I guess, their exposure to resurrection. Like, they were kind of right there with Ghostbur. Or you can just attribute it to stress. I didn't really put a ton of thought into that, honestly, so I couldn't really give you a straight answer. Some other design questions I've been seeing are things about the shatter effect on Ghostbur and Friend, and Dream on that one frame, actually, in the bottom left, has a shatter effect on him. I think of that as also being connected to the afterlife. If you've got a shatter effect, then you've had some interaction with Limbo. My character designs are commented on in almost every video that I post. The most commonly asked about one is Fundy, and Fundy's design does not have any thought behind it besides the fact that I can't draw animals. There's not a better, I wish I could give you a better answer for that, but there's not. Fundy's just kind of wearing a fox pelt because I don't like drawing anthropomorphic animals, and I wasn't about to draw Fundy as a literal fox. That's just kind of all where it comes from. Dream's design is because I was kind of tired when I was first drawing Dream's frames, and I drew him like that in another video of mine, and that got a lot of really great feedback, and so I was like, oh, okay, then I'll use that one again. I also think it's kind of cool and allows you to make him look more sinister, as opposed to his more human designs that I've seen a lot of artists and myself use, which makes him almost kind of relatable, but that's not really his role in the story here. Throughout the animatic, I like to portray Ghostbur as a different character than Wilbur, but I actually don't know how well I got that across. In my understanding of the Dream SMP, L'Manberg Wilbur is a completely different character than Revivebur, but are mirrored, kind of. Wilbur's bullet belt doesn't have a meaning. I had a question about that. It just kind of carried the vibe of war criminal, exile, etc., etc. And then Techno's design in this animatic, who appears in one frame, is the only one that has remained exactly the same from the Broken Crown animatic. Every other character that appears in Broken Crown has a different design in this one. Yeah, and then fun fact, a lot of the designs that I use in my animatics come from direct feedback from the content creators. Whether that be Techno kind of mentioning that he prefers his design as a pig, but he likes the long hair design if people draw him as a person, or I've had creators respond to me directly in their designs. Ranboo did that a while ago. I think it must have been back in December or something. I asked Ranboo about what designs he liked on one of his streams, and he was giving me an answer about stuff, so thank you to them for being able to contribute that. Some other kind of references for content creators in terms of what they like to be drawn as come from Tommy, Tubbo, and Fundy. And all of them have kind of hinted at one point or another what kind of designs that they do like, and I try to draw them as that because I don't know, I think that being able to draw the characters based on what their content creators like is a pretty cool opportunity. And that is kind of all of the questions that I'm seeing. If you have any more, please put them in the comments of this video, and I will try my best to answer them. But just to kind of cap it all off, when I'm recording this, I've hit 6K subscribers, and that is insane. I think I've said this before, but honestly, my YouTube channel was just kind of intended to be me sharing my art to a very small amount of people who know me IRL. But the fact that it's kind of blown up so much is kind of insane to me, because I've just drawn as a hobby for pretty much my entire life, and there are 6,000 of you who I now get to share that with, and I don't know, that's really cool, and it's more than I could ever ask for on the internet, especially. So thank you guys, and for people who've been around with me for a while, I'm especially thankful to you guys for dealing with my inconsistent work schedules and my ridiculous uploads and all of my drama over copyrighted music previously. Thank you guys for the ongoing support. And I am currently, in terms of personal projects, I am currently working on a project for the Kingbase SMP, and I have a series of drawings that I actually do want to do. In terms of future Dream SMP animatics, I think that is still a work in progress in terms of ideas and storyboarding, but I will let you guys know if I start working on something like that in the future. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys later.